Hey friends, welcome. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be debunking someone who's debunking dinosaurs. Yeah, it's going to be a reaction video because, well, I just recently found out people don't believe in dinosaurs, which I don't get. But maybe that's just me. So let's look at this video and talk about it because they get some stuff right and they get some stuff wildly wrong.
A fossil is not actually a piece of bone. A fossil is actually a bone that was once in the ground that has been then filled with limestone, calcium, and other kind of stone-like deposits over the course of many, many years. And at the end of the day, it ends up looking like a bone, but it's not really a bone.
So starting off here, fundamentally, that's correct. I mean, in layman's terms, that's a great way to put it. It is a bone where all of the organic material has gone and been disintegrated into nothing, and it has been filled in with other mineral deposits. Depending on where it is, that's why you'll have different colored fossils, because whatever minerals are in the ground it's in, it will take on that color.
It's really a rock inside of rock. So you have a rock this big, and you say, okay, inside this rock this big, there's a bunch of fossils. Here you go. And you hand the rock off to a paleontologist, and the paleontologist takes a little mallet and they chip away at it, and at some point they come out with something looking like a bone, and that's a fossil.
Fundamentally, yes, you get something the shape of a bone. It's a fossil. It is the bone, the way the organic material is gone, and it has been filled in with all the minerals that are in the area in which it is buried when it first becomes buried, and over time, the millions of years it takes to become a fossil.
So here's the question that I pose. Now, the first fossil that was ever found was actually after they came up with the idea of a dinosaur, right? That seems a little bit far-fetched, right?
So this is a really, really big sticking point for people who believe that dinosaurs were a hoax. They believe that the word dinosaur was invented in the early 1800s, which it was. In fact, it was 1842 by Sir Richard Owen. But they believe that immediately following this event, dinosaur bones were found, and that's just not true. The first dinosaur bone was found in 1676, and it was a megalosaurus. It wasn't described until 1824, and it wasn't until 18 years later that the term dinosaur was invented. When you put them in context, people did find dinosaurs before the word dinosaur was created.
Why would the bone that was found or the fossil that was found actually be the exact same thing as what was originally hypothesized without any other evidence? It doesn't make any sense. So
Because it wasn't.
now I give to you. Here, you're my paleontologist. Turn that into what it was before I ripped it apart.
Maybe it's just my own hang-up, but it drives me nuts, the arrogance at which she pushes that rock or whatever, shale or whatever it is that she just pushed. That's not how paleontology works, right? They dig into the ground where there are fossils, or where they believe there are fossils, and they hope to find a fossil, and then they get fragments of them, and they try and put them in some kind of order, right? What they don't do is just find rocks and then get clues, as you're going to see she says in a minute, and put them back together the way they want it to be. It's not dogmatic thinking. It's taking an evidence and then interpreting that evidence to tell a story of what happened in the past.
Here. You can have some spackle too. As much spackle as you want. Here, turn this into what it's supposed to be. Alright. Who knows what you're going to come up with, right? Now, here, take this same substance, this same spackle, and by the way, it's supposed to be this little guy, Brachiosaurus, who's 40 meters tall.
Again, this is just not how it works. They're not told, make it look like this, here's a bunch of rocks. That's just not how paleontology goes.
This is what he looks like. This is what the head was supposed to look like. This is a Brachiosaurus skull. Make me a Brachiosaurus skull. With that and as much spackle as you please. Chances are, what are you going to come up with? If you want to keep your job, you come up with a Brachiosaurus skull. If you want to be truthful, you come up with whatever it was that I smashed apart to get this stuff.
So chances are, if you've dedicated your life to the study of paleontology, what you're going to do is put it back together the way it's meant to be put back together. Whatever it was beforehand, you're going to do. However, as a paleontologist, that's not what you're doing. You're finding bones and you're matching the different bones together, right? You're not finding a pile of rubble because someone else broke up this rock and you were told to take that rock and then turn it. I don't even understand why someone else has to break it up. Why aren't we just chiseling out a Brachiosaurus skull? Like, it seems like a lot of extra work. Or why wouldn't I just break something up and turn it into a Brachiosaurus skull? Why does someone else have to break it up, hand it to me, and tell me to do it? I just don't get it.
When millions of dollars are on the line, which one are you going to do? My guess is you're going to go with the Brachiosaurus. That's where the money is. So I hope this was insightful for what happens on a daily basis in the world of paleontology. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next time.
So, no, it was not insightful for what happens on a daily basis in paleontology, because it's not what happens on a daily basis in paleontology. It was just conjecture, and it was, I mean, at least it had the idea that there's millions of dollars involved, so it's following the money. But it's just the ominous they, them that are doing it, you know? That group of they who are controlling everything for the millions of dollars. Paleontologists also don't make millions of dollars doing this. So, like, the person you're claiming is faking all this info isn't profiting millions. Someone else would be. And I don't know if you've noticed, but museums just aren't raking in billions and billions of dollars at all. They're mostly publicly funded, and they don't really need dinosaurs to be publicly funded. But who else is making it? Who else is making the millions and millions of dollars?